Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host. And if you are joining us for the first time, first of all, thank you so much for joining us and choosing Khosi Nation Fan TV. And secondly, if you're wondering what is this channel about, well, this is where Kaizer Chiefs fans meet and just talk about everything that has to do with Kaizer Chiefs. And this is the Daily Round-Up, where we basically look at the news from the day and the rumors and talk about them. I start the conversation, you continue down in the comment section below. So please do make sure to leave your comments, because I know you have a comment. Everyone has a comment, everyone has an opinion. So leave it down below. Like the video so that YouTube can spread it to more people like you, and subscribe to be part of the family. And speaking of the family and the community, I give shout outs from yesterday. I started giving shout out to the people who are part of this community, and today's shout out goes to Jacob and Muremi. We've been engaging a lot now over the past few weeks, and of course, if you continue being part of this channel and my team, part of the community, you'll also get a shout out eventually, because I make videos every day. So what are we talking about today? Now, the first thing I want to talk about is obviously the reporting and how exaggerated things can get, and how many things are being disputed and that are being cancelled. Because, for instance, in the Fiston Mayele, there were news earlier today with, he has signed for Chiefs. And you see why. He's a good striker. He's playing, if you don't know. So Fiston Mayele is a 28-year-old striker who plays for Young Africans in Tanzania, and he's from DRC. Now, Chiefs needs a striker, obviously, and the club that he plays for, Young Africans, did confirm Uguti. Chiefs and Pirate wanted to sign the player. So they also did say Uguti, he is not for sale. Underline that. He is not for sale. And clubs usually do that for two reasons. One, to just increase the price, because if you're saying, we are selling, then by default that means your asking price cannot be high. It makes the other team that is coming, your asking price cannot be high, because you are saying you are selling, which means you are the one in the negotiations who does not have the upper hand. So basically, you are giving the team that's coming to you power to say, we have 50,000 or however much that you have. So it's a possibility that Young Africans can sell Mayele to Chiefs or Pirate. But you have to remember as well that Young Africans are playing in the CAF Champions League next season. And just this previous season, they won a domestic league, Tanzania. Now, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I would think economically, as much as Bedlala Champions League and all that stuff, Chiefs and the Pirates are still like the biggest teams in Africa, still up there, in terms of how much money they have. Okay, let's leave the fact that they've not been like dominant in the continental space, but they're still big clubs. They still have a lot of money, and it could easily be down to Chiefs just offering him double the salary that he's getting. I am sure if they said 90 million, he's not gonna stay with Yanga. It would then be up to Yanga. Are they selling him? Because if they sell him, it would be a very high price. So that's just the first thing. There's a possibility they are just playing poker game. We've played our card. You said it's not for sale. What are you gonna do next? Are you desperate enough? Are you in need enough of this player to sign him? Because I believe every player these days has a price. Every player has a price. It's just a matter of, can you pay that price? And then in this case, there's Bonile, for instance, in the Mbappe. Let's just take Mbappe for example. Mbappe was supposed to go to Madrid. He grew up saying, it's my dream. Afik PSG yet, that's Mali. Here's the contract. You have this much power now over the team. All of a sudden, what happened to the dream? So the dream disappeared. The dream come back. You're Madrid. Didn't disappear. It's there. He still wants to play for Madrid. But PSG at the time are offering him a better deal. And even next season, I can bet you, PSG might still struggle next season with Messi, Mbappe and Neymar and still not win the Champions League. and Madrid has a better chance. They've done it more and more, but because of the fact that PSG has offered him more money and more benefits, he stays. So it's the same thing that I'm saying with Mayele ukuthi they could say that he's not for sale, but if Chiefs can offer imali ebhekile, they're not gonna refuse. And if Chiefs also offers him imali right, then the player is not gonna refuse. I just don't see Chiefs doing that because of the fact that we've had our problems with FIFA and being transfer banned and whatnot. So if we do try and make any shady deals on the side with the player, then it might land us in trouble. And as we have seen, FIFA CAF deal with us harshly. So I wouldn't want to see that happening to Chiefs. Moving on to something that will prompt the question of the day. In the Castro interview where he revealed ukuthi South African players, I'm not specifically talking about Kaizer Chiefs players, but South African players ukuthi they sometimes come to gym bephuzile. Now I'm not talking about Cardoso. Cardoso also said that about Chiefs, but Castro now has made it even broader and said i-professionalism basically into engekho, because South African players bavele bafike egroundini baphuzile and abanye do it repetitively, abanye abakhuzeki, which leaves me with this question ukuthi, is SA football doing enough to stop the alcohol abuse? I'll repeat the question. Is SA football doing enough to stop the alcohol abuse? Because angizwa lento lebafethu so much overseas. Yes, you have Ronaldinho who ended up having troubles, Chwala and other few players, but I know people have inkinga and they have troubles and maybe they end up thinking the bottle is the solution. But some people just love ubumnandi, and maybe because people are given certain positions, so you can get away with certain things. It puts a dent and a bad one in South Africa, because then you see how many things have happened that we saw with and unfortunate things have ended up happening to some of the players because and they can be ill-disciplined and get away with it. Bangaphuza jika hamba kwenye team afika be superstar phinda benenkinga efanayo. It's not good for the boys who grow up idolizing these guys, because kwamina growing up and knowing mangathiwa nje I found out ukuthi, let's say Ushoes Mushewu was having troubles, kwakuzongihlupha lokho because I grew up saying Ushoes or Atazwane, and I knew some of the things about Uzwane that happened, but he learned from them and moved on. And that's a good story to tell ukuthi Uzwane at the start of his career had a problem with 1, 2 and 3, but he solved that problem and then was able to move on from that thing. Now my question then is, if Uzwane kwenzeka kuye and he ended up becoming a better player and a Kaizer Chiefs legend and a Kaizer Chiefs coach that he is right now, ubani wamsiza, or was it just down to him? And if it was just down to him, good for him. But if there was someone who helped him, then why are we not implementing the same structure to help all the other players who are kind of struggling with the same thing? Because ubhubhane ngempela pandemic nje busy nje, endemic busy nje eshaya South African football, because how many players have potential but ngenxa yokuthi it's either uthanda ubumnandi or it's because uzoba disrespectful to our teammates and the coaches, and then a good player that we all knew was supposed to be good and be great agcine phelele emoyeni. And it's not just limited to utshwala, it's also their lifestyles. Mhlawumbe umuntu akayinaki ukuthi adle kanjani, they just eat whatever, and then you see a player gaining weight and then you like, senze njani ke manje? These guys, if anyone watches this video who's a pro player, you guys are role models and people look up to you. Young boys are looking up at Ubiliat and thinking, I want to be like Ubiliat, I want to be like Udoli, or I want to be like Ungezana. Ungezana was found drunk or came to the practice drunk. Uthini kumuntu who's looking up to him? I'm just saying this because it's a serious thing that we might not address. And as I said, umuntu can be technically good as a player, but if their mind and their behavior is not aligning to their talent, then it would mean nothing. I understand. I always say, Mina, talent-wise, I think Messi is better than Ronaldo. Talent-wise, in terms of naturally, he's better. But because of how much harder Ronaldo has worked, and then over the last 15 years, they've been like this. It was hard to distinguish the difference between them because umuntu put in the work mentally and they ended up competing, and now they're in a conversation of being the greatest footballers to have ever played football, both of them. I understand, because of mental ability and application of all this thing. Now, I talk about this thing so long because it hurts me, because these things are not just their careers that get washed down the drain, but it's also something that affects other people who are looking up to them, and it also affects ibhola lezwe as a whole. As a result, sigcine siphelela la sikhona, not qualifying for World Cups. What am I even gonna do makudlala World Cup? Sekumele ngiyofavor Senegal-ke manje. Not Senegalese, I'm African, yes, but I want to support Bafana ku-World Cup. Ngisho ngathi iphuma kula 16. But anyway, sikhulume ngo-Evanga. So apparently Chiefs did want to sign Evanga, but they pulled out of signing Evanga because Zwane thought he wouldn't fit the style of play. I like that fact, because if Uzwane is already stamping his authority, no, this guy is not gonna fit. Yes, he's one of the strikers available, but he will not fit the style. So thank you. I like that. I like ukuthi the coaches now assess ukuthi, do we need the player? Akusikho nje ukuthi, hey, which strikers are available? Okay, let's check the top 5 goal scorers and then we just go and sign them. But maybe check. I know I made a video talking about how his finishing yak is good and is intimidating to the defenders. But if the coach looks at him and he thinks he's not gonna fit in his style, yeah, be decisive. Get the players that you want. Get the players that you think will fit your squad. Exactly. Speaking of players that will fit your squad, 2 of the players who fit our squad in the past, in Reneilwe Letsholonyane and Siphiwe Shabalala, could be coming back to Kaizer Chiefs. So apparently Letsholonyane could come back to coach under 19 with Chiefs. So that would be good. That would be good because you're bringing back people abayaziyo vele culture ye team, and people who have played for the team and know what it means to play for Chiefs, and from young age vele bayazi ukuthi siyokwenzani, sidlala nama legend. And it goes back to that, if udlala ku Chiefs ucoach Letsholonyane, there's already that thing ukuthi legend ukuthi uzofika udlala under 19 ucoach Stuart Armstrong wase Ireland. Wasn't Stuart Armstrong wase Ireland? I'm just picking a random name about South African football, about Kaizer Chiefs football. He's just brought in here to coach because he coached in the 2nd division and he was able to get them to go to the playoffs. Get out of here, man. Abantu base South Africa must continue coaching ibhola lase South Africa, because especially them, they know how it works, and I know the arguments that we can have some other day about how England or Klopp are not from England, but yet they're the ones who are tearing things apart. It's fine, but we can have that discussion some other time. And lastly, Shabalala is also going to be, apparently, rumors are saying, appointed as a team manager, DSTV, Diski Challenge, and down. So basically, also be coach from the boys abadlala ku DSTV, Diski Challenge, and amanye ama divisions under that, like Gauteng development and all that stuff. So it would be good to see that happening with Chiefs. And I started making a series about Kaizer Chiefs players and who's gonna play in each position, starting with this one where I talk about the goalkeeper. So do make sure to check that out. And if you missed some of the videos, or you just wanna see what this channel is about more, check out, okay, I'll put the videos this side and then I'll put the playlist this side if you wanna binge watch the content of this channel. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Make sure to leave your comment. Is SA football doing enough to stop the alcohol abuse? Let me know down on the comment section below. And until next time, remember, equals alpelo moy.